tyres are out and we're away. Look like a pretty good start for all of the riders on that front row of the grid. Someone is on a charge from row 3, making his way up very, very quickly. I think that may have been Aslan on board bike number 24. Both the A1 Energy BMWs were in there pretty hot. And Aslan, I think, has moved up to 5th position already. But as they make their way down towards turn 2 for the first time, turn 3 now, it is the 41 machine of Nakarin, yesterday's race winner, that takes the lead.
Azroy and Apiwat both made good starts. Afisharin taking a nice tight line round turn 3.
Now, look at Lachlan Epis. He's up into 3rd position. Oh, no, it's Fizz. I've got a great run through that corner. He was on the inside. I actually thought because it was the blue colours that it was Lachlan Epis, and put on a great performance there coming out of turn 3. He's gone back 1 position now as Azroy Hakim is up into a 3rd. There goes Epis around the outside there. But Fizz has got to try and get away with these leaders, haven't we? We saw yesterday that he just dropped back a fraction and didn't have any answer for the pace of the Hondas over full race distance.
Yeah, his positioning on the track, Afisharin, really canny. I think this is going to be a much better race for him today than it was yesterday.
Also, the tricky conditions yesterday may have played a factor in the fact that he was 4.9 seconds behind at the finish. Cameron Dunker's got away with them as well.
See how this shakes out as Nakarin leads them through turn 12 for the first time. Going to be another 12 times after this. And it's his good friend, who's from Thailand, Nakarin Sirapuvaphat behind him. Sorry, Azroid behind him. And number 21, Zakwan, followed by Apiwat.
Well, the Hondas have been so fast here all weekend, so it's no surprise to see 3 of them leading at the front of this field. The big question is, what can those brand new BMWs do? And at the moment, it is Apiwat that's taken up the challenge to the Honda trio out front. You can see how much extra protection the front end of that BMW offers Apiwat as he's able to get down behind. Look how much higher and taller that screen is. And look, he's not too bad on the brakes either as they go into turn 5.
Yeah, and importantly, he's getting himself... Oh, and down he goes!
He just got a bit of a touch there and he's gone down. He's gone down at one of the very fast corners through that infield section. So Apiwat, unfortunately, an early end for the A1 Energy BMW rider.
Well, we weren't expecting that. It looked as though he got himself into a good position for the exit of turn 6, because you need to come out of that turn tight. But it was a touch and down he went.
Not sure which one of the Hondas it was that he had the incident with. We'll get a replay of it here.
It was Andy. Oh no.
No, that's just the back end of it. You see, unfortunately, tumbling away. So they're bringing the bike over. Well, the other thing is that with only 12 riders in the field, if the bike was able to get going again, you think you'd want to get some points. Maybe it was at Zakwan Zahidi that he actually had the encounter with. Yeah. There was one of those 3 Hondas out front. At the moment, it is Nakarin on 41 that leads from Azroy Hakim that's in 2nd position.
Yes, Azroy, and I'll tell you who's coming now. You can see him there, the number 23, just scrapping with Aslan as they have done for the last 2 laps around turn 3. So it's Azroy in looking good in P2, but I think Aslan and Andy Farid is Dihar.
I remember Andy Farid was 2nd in the championship last year. I was actually surprised when he qualified back in 8th position as well. Didn't have the race yesterday that he would have liked. Was only came up 2 points short of the championship last year too, so he's certainly making to make amends in this one. He's got to try and deal with that very fast BMW, and it's pretty hard to try and overtake on the brakes when the bike in front of you is capable of doing nearly 307 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, the Hondas are quick as well, but those BMWs, well, actually Andy Farid's got the fastest top speed now. Yeah, 304.2 for him in this race. Top speed's a little bit down to what they were yesterday in the qualifying sessions. I think that was where the BMWs recorded that 306.8. Dive on the brakes there from Zakwan Zahidi to move up into a 2nd position. So it's still the 3 Hondas that lead. Nakarin, Azroy, and Zakwan Zahidi now up into 2nd position. And Aslan's right up with them then. And that means that Andy Farid is up with them as well. And as this race goes on, you'd have to fancy Andy Farid is the half to move up a little bit further. Here comes Aslan again, taking a wide line this time. Andy goes up in front of him.
Well, Aslan's last win was actually at this circuit, the first race of the first round last year. So he's had a bit of a drought in relation to getting on the top step of the podium. Would love to put that brand new BMW up there. But he's now got 4 Hondas ahead of him that he's got to try and manage.
Yeah, Andy got ahead of him that time. And still 10 laps remaining. That's plenty of time for the Andy Farid late race advantage to kick in.
And also Hafiz as well, still trying to hang on to that group. Just at the back there, you can see Lachlan Epis just behind Quito Arbe on board bike number 39. So still hanging in there, just 2 seconds covers that group of 8 riders. From our leader Nakarin back to Lachlan Epis in 8th position.
Yeah, it's such a high quality field.
And a reminder that Epis is on the old BMW, which is about 10 odd Ks down in top speed. Oh, no, Aslan's got in there too deep. He'll drop to the back of this group now on board the 25 machine.
Yeah, he tucks in behind Lachlan Epis.
Now we'll see a drag race down this straight. We'll see the difference in top speed between the old and new BMWs.
Yeah, Nakarin stretches his lead, but it's Honda 1, 2, 3, 4. Ducati 5. Honda 6.
Yeah, that lead just seems to have appeared out of absolutely nowhere as the 2 Hondas drift in there. Oh, Andy Farid, you see him sliding the bike in there.
Yeah, he took 2 riders there. 3 if you count Aslan, who went wide.
That's probably what created that gap a little bit more as well, because none of them went in there with the optimum speed. They all came out a little bit drive compromised onto the start-finish straight, and that's allowed Nakarin to open up a gap bordering on 1 second.
Got Andy Farid there in P4. He's taking a look. He's dispensed with Aslan Shah.
Well, I think Aslan Shah dispensed with himself really with the braking error. Well, look at that. Yeah, I think Shah might have a problem. He's obviously got a problem because he's dropped way back behind Lachlan Epis now. We'll keep our eye on his lap time.
So teething troubles, it seems, for the A1.
Yeah, but a 37.8 on the last lap. That was because he ran wide at turn 12. He's not going to be much faster on this lap. Look how much distance he's lost now. There's obviously some sort of problem with that Aslan Shah's machine.
Andy Farid comes through. He's so good at turn 12. You wouldn't want to bet against him if he's in P2 on the final time.
I think that gap's come down a little bit too, Barry, hasn't it, on that last lap? Zakwin Zahidi. Yeah, a 1/10 of a second he's taken out of Nakarin's lead. All of the riders in the top group, apart from Andy Farid, Izdihar, setting their fastest laps of the race on that last lap. Top speed is still Andy Farid with a 304.2. The BMW's just managed to crack 300, but not anything to fight with the Hondas.
And Shirin going backwards.
Yeah, Quito Arbe on a bit of a charge now on board bike number 39. That's the SDG Honda Hawk Pro machine from the Philippines. He was, if I remember correctly, the latter stages of yesterday's race, he came a long way forward over the last 3 or 4 laps or so to eventually finish in 5th position.
Yeah, that was a really good race by Quito Arbe yesterday. Having another good one today by the look of it.
Yep, 8 laps to, well, 7.5 laps to still go for these riders in the ASB1000 category.
And sadly, the 2 BMWs out of contention, it seems. One of them definitely is.
Aslan's still circulating around, but his lap times are still back in the 37s. Epis is doing low 36s on board the old BMW. Speaking to Greg Epis from the Savitar team, he actually said that one of the reasons why they decided to not try and get the new bike ready was going into the first round, they didn't want to risk any mechanical issues, and they thought that they would be better off to try and save the bike for the second round. and just run the bike that they know in this first round. In the end, it's probably going to pay dividends for them.
Yeah, thing to watch out for now, I think, Phil, is going to be that lead of Nakarin's, which he stretched last time around by 1/10 of a second. But Andy Farid is now in P2.
Yeah, Zakwan back to... well, we've got another...
junior out for Victor Racing.
Problem on the Yamaha. Cameron Dunker still holding down 9th position. 37.7 from him on the last lap. That's not his fastest lap of the weekend, but this weekend has been a massive learning curve for the 17-year-old Australian. Nakarin still just managing to hold them off, but I think you're right, that distance now looks like it's visually closed down, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if my eyes are deceiving me, but...
No, I don't think they are, because it looks the same to me. We will find out in only a couple of corners' time, because they will be coming round to complete 7 laps.
This is the Andy Farid Izdihar MO. He comes strong in the second half of the race. We're just in the second half of the race now. And he's placed very, very well.
Well, he qualified, I think it was 8th, came through to 6th in yesterday's race in the tricky conditions.
Yeah, he took 2/10 out of Nakarin that time around.
Yep, the gap down to 0.7 of a second. And Hafiz doing a fast lap at 36.6. But Kito Abe setting his fastest lap of the race with a 36.163 as well. So nudging 300 kilometres an hour as well for Kito Abe on board bike number 39. You can see him there on the SDG Park Pro machine.
SDG certainly know how to put Hondas together, that's for sure.
From what I've seen so far this weekend, Barry, if there's a Honda team in this championship, they know how to put Hondas together because they're all being so rapidly fast.
Yeah,
and
very true.
Trick-looking machines too. When you get up close, you can see there that Showa front end on board the Honda machine with the blue nitride coating on board the forks, the big brake discs and the big Nissan brakes on there.
Yeah, Zakwan having a look at the back of Andy Farid, so that could be good news for Nakarin at the front if they slow each other up. Nakarin doing a really, really decent job there, keeping cool.
So it is still the Honda Thailand machine that leads in the hands of Nakarin Aratiraphupapat. The lead at the last lap was 0.7 of a second. We think that gap has come down a fraction. And Andy Farid Izdihar, he's on a charge, he was on a charge, he's lost the core, he's lost the front end into turn 12. He throws his hands in the air in desperation. He's got to try and get the bike going. He knows that points are up for grabs still. He wants the marshals to come over and give him a hand to pick the bike up. But that would put Zakwan Zahidi back up into a second position. And the gap back to Zakwan from Nakarin is 1 second. We'll have a replay now of this incident. You can see he's holding onto the brakes, tips it into the corner, and the front end just cries enough, and down he goes. That is the end of the challenge.
That's it, a rare mistake for Andy Farid Izdihar. We used to see him occasionally make an error when he was in 600s 3 years or so ago, but he's out this time. So Astra Honda, nothing else to look at, so they go out to the back of the garage.
So the rider in second place in the championship from last year has had a weekend to forget here at the Chang International Circuit.
There's a lot of race distance to go, 5 laps.
I thought he might have tried to pick the bike up and at least get some championship points. Looks like he has. Looks like he has picked the bike up, Barry. He's picked the bike up and he's back circulating again. And if he can stay where he is, he's going to pick up some points for ninth place. So he lost the championship last year by 2 points. He knows how important a couple of championship points is come the final tally.
Absolutely. So last time around, there was a second between Nakarin and Zakwan.
Now we've got 4 Hondas in the lead group now.
This time is 0.8.
Having a look at the timing monitor. Kito Abe has just done one of his faster laps in this race, only 1/10 of a second slower than what his fastest lap was. So he's consistently lapping in the low 36s. In fact, of the lead 4, Kito Abe was actually the fastest rider on the last lap. And here he comes trying to put a move on Azroy Hakim. Can't quite get up the inside of the 20 machine.
Yeah, it's getting more and more confident on that SDG Honda. Keita Abe. Two rookies there in this class, Keita Abe and Azroy Anwar.
You can see that the riders are starting to really feel the heat now, because the heat is hot out there, and we're currently coming round to complete 10 laps. So there'll be 3 laps to go at the completion of this lap. The lead, I think that may have come down a fraction again. I think Zakwan Zahidi has actually started to up his pace. We will keep an eye on the timing monitors as they come round to complete this lap. But on the last lap, he was 0.2 of a second faster than our race leader, Nakarena Tirapuvapat.
The gap visually looks smaller. We'll soon see.
Turn 12, the corner that claimed the race of Andy Farid Izdihar. Only a couple of laps to go. Across the line they go. The gap is down to 0.5 of a second, Barry. So you picked that up perfectly. The lap on the last one there, a 1:36.6, was over 0.2 of a second faster for Zakwan Zahidi.
Yeah, so here he goes. And this is a big test for Nakarin to see how he can manage the lead. This will be the first time he's really needed to do that. This is a really good test. And Keita Abe making a determined move, determined progress towards the Honda of Azroy. Down through turn 4.
I reckon that gap's come down a fraction more too. And look at this charge from Keita Abe. He was momentarily up into a 3rd position, but he's gone back to 4th now behind Azroy Hakim.
Oh,
Malaysia doing a good job. Oh, Keita Abe gets him on the crossover, the change of direction there.
That was really well judged.
Love the body language.
Yeah.
Body language. You can see he's getting all physical and really starting to wrestle that machine.
Yeah, he needed a tight exit to turn 7, and he did exactly that right. And he got himself inside and blocked.
The question is, has Azroy got an answer on the brakes down at turn 12? No, I think Keito's got him covered. Well, you can see there he was very keen to get on the gas. The bike just started to spin up a little bit, but I think the electronics probably helped him catch that one. The gap at the front is stagnant at 0.5 of a second on the last lap, Barry. There was literally 0.02 of a second between the lap times of Nakarin in the lead and Zakwan Zahidi in second.
Yeah, this is really shaping up to a grand finale. And on the right of your screen, you're looking at the Honda Racing Malaysia pit of Azroy and the SDG pit lower down to team owner and great character, Mr. Suzuki. He looks like he's enjoying himself.
He's got a smile on his face and his rider's doing a great job. The Fizz siren on the JDG Ducati also trying desperately to hang on to the back of these 2 riders. Interesting that Nakarena Tirapuvapat, his last lap was only a couple of only a 1/10 of a second off his fastest lap of the race. And 0.2 of a second off Zakwan Zahidi's fastest lap for him on the last lap as well. So they've been maintaining great consistency over the last few laps.
Yeah, it's a really good test for Nakarin.
Just interesting to see what the gap is at the end of this lap, because there will be 1 lap to go. Is it enough that Zakwan Zahidi can claw back and challenge on the last race? No, I don't think that gap is not achievable to be made up in 1 lap. And all Nakarin's got to do is play this one smart, as the last lap is now underway. Nakarin leads by over a second. Over a second. I think that the challenge from Zakwan Zahidi has been broken by Nakarin, the Thai rider, looking to make it 2 from 2 here at his home circuit at the Chang International Circuit at Buriram in Thailand. The Honda Racing Thailand team will be celebrating in style if he can take 2 wins at the first round in front of an adoring home crowd. Keita Abe is also looking to take that step up onto the podium after a 5th place in yesterday's race as well.
FDG will be celebrating as well, because it really looks like a plan coming together for that team and for Quito Abe.
Corners are dwindling down now for Nakarin. Looking smooth and composed on this last lap, despite the considerable pressure that had been applied for the whole race distance by Zakwan Zahidi on board bike number 21.
That's a very comfortable lead at the front for the Thai rider.
There they go, they're getting ready to start celebrating. They know that it's going to be could be a pivotal weekend for the team to take 2 wins in front of their home fans.
Look how hard he's pushing. Quito Abe really keeping the pressure on.
Now he can't see that he's actually, I think, broken the back of the challenge of Azroy. One more corner to safely negotiate for Nakarin Tirapuvapat to make it a perfect weekend. 2 race wins and 50 points to start off the 2025 championship. And he celebrates across the line with a wheelie. The team celebrate as well. Zakwan Zahidi will take second place. Second place in both races for the Indomitsu Honda Racing Malaysia team. And Quito Abe will take his first step onto the podium in 2025. Congratulations to those 3. What a race. Azroy will take 4th and Hafiz will take 5th.
Absolutely. And the celebrity waving the flag there has clearly had some training from the marshals. It's very good action.
Doing a very good job. Importantly, Barry, we saw that Andy Farid was making a big challenge towards the lead. He should come round and take points for 9th position. That could be telling at the last round of the championship when the final championship points are tallied up.
Sure, because we have to assume that Andy Farid is going to regain his form. But what a weekend it's been for Nakarin Tirapuvapat.